Welcome to episode 199 of the Fully In It podcast. Is it possible to keep your business simple even as you scale it up? Does scaling income and impact necessarily mean adding more? As mom CEOs, we have limited time and energy, and it truly matters how you spend both. I'm going to argue in this episode why subtraction in business is actually the key to multiplying your profit. If you are a fellow Simple Living fan who wants a light and sustainable business model, even as you scale bigger, you're going to love this episode. Let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome to the Fully In It podcast with Kate Saffel, a show for powerful moms growing life-changing businesses while showing up intentionally for their families. I teach you how to create a family-first and profitable business in less time by leveraging simple strategy, mom life-friendly systems, and above all, the mindset of going fully in it. You ready? Okay, so let's talk about the goal of scaling up your business. My guess is that you may be in a season of wanting to grow your business so that you not only have a bigger impact with the people that you serve, but that you're also able to bring more profit home. And this is such a valuable goal because it just means that you're ready to, grow as a CEO. You want to hold more when it comes to possibilities via your business. And you also just want to see what you are capable of as the mom CEO. All of these are really good things. But if you look out into the online business world and you just do a bit of scrolling and a bit of peeking around, you are going to see that most people will recommend more and more and more as the way to scale your business. But is that really it? I'm a bit of an outlier. I've always been this way. Perhaps I'm a little bit rebellious, but I have a really firm belief that there is a way to scale a business while you also keep it really light. Keep it very simple and very family friendly. And this may be because I started my business well after entering motherhood. I had 3 kids under the age of 7. And so it was purely by necessity that I keep my business simple as I scaled it. I was thinking about this the other night. I was journaling on just the last decade of my life and looking at my wins and my fails and what used to matter to me and what matters now and just really reflecting, right? As I'm sure you probably do that from time to time too, because it's just so good to see the progress. And I realized that I hit my first 100K year when my kids were around 3, 6, and 9. Maybe a little bit earlier than that, but right around those ages. And so as you can imagine, I didn't have a ton of time to work on my business. And I was pretty scrappy too. I didn't have like the extra funds to invest in a lot of different tools or technologies to grow my business. So that was purely organic business growth that got me to that first 100K mark. And I did it when my kids were home and I was homeschooling and trying to manage all of the things. And it was messy. It was imperfect, but it happened. And then I kept scaling from there. And the question really became, what do I want to add to my business? What's going to be really valuable and help me to reach more people without creating a business that exhausts me, that burns me out, that makes me really not want to be in business? I wanted to stay in love with my business for the long term and truly enjoy it, because when you have a business that sucks up a lot of your time and energy, you spend more of your mental space thinking about your business, worrying about your business, trying to troubleshoot your business. And in actuality, your business should be simple enough that it just runs and you can focus on what matters most, and that's your family, and that's the people that you serve. And so for me, how I kept my business simple was I didn't add more until I had mastered what was already in place and made sure it was actually working, that it was a winning part of my scaling strategy. And this means I had to really tune out outside voices and what people thought would be right for my business and listen to myself. And this doesn't mean I didn't seek mentorship. I've had mentorship the entire way because I find it so incredibly valuable to have another human being that knows me, knows my family, knows my business, that I can bounce ideas off of, that can help me look at it from a different perspective. But I was very cautious about looking outward at all of the experts online who have the secret to success, and they want you to want it. And I knew that if I looked at them and I knew if I compared, that it would actually just distract me from my purpose in my business. And so I really just have always had those blinders on. When I think about scaling a business, and really I was thinking about how do I want to teach this to you? I wanted to give you a really great metaphor for how to look at your business. So if you're like me, I'm guessing you are if you're listening to my podcast, you have a taste for simple living and you like things to feel light and spacious. You don't want to feel overwhelmed and cluttered and chaos. It's just not your vibe. And so to me, scaling a business well is like owning a really fantastic capsule wardrobe. So if you're not familiar with the capsule wardrobe concept, this is just where you have a set number of pieces and they all coordinate together. So maybe they're like in the same color palette and they have like a similar feel, so that when you get dressed in the morning, it's effortless. Like the things pair well together. You always look great. You have the right accessories and the shoes that go with all of these outfits. And you don't have to dig in your closet to figure out what to wear on a daily basis. And we know, right? Like we know how frustrating that can be when you go in your closet and you don't like anything that's in there. Like it's just the worst. Especially like for me being postpartum, every time, gosh, after I have a baby, every single time I'm like, I'm throwing everything away. I'm starting over because, you shift how you see yourself and how you want your clothes to reflect that. So when you're in a season of feeling like your wardrobe just is not working, right? You just want to cry. You're like, none of this looks good. I don't like any of it. What do you do first? Do you go buy a bunch more clothes? Do you go on a shopping spree? Or do you get rid of things first? Which one do you go to? Or we could look at this another way. What feels better to you? A closet that is just totally packed with clothes falling off the hangers? There's stuff you forgot was even in there. There's a mishmash of all these different styles and trends and things that you saw and you impulse purchased. Or is there a core rotation of pieces you absolutely love that flatter your body and are a physical representation of who you are and are also unfussy to wear? Like they just don't require a ton of maintenance and so you just never wear them. So I'm guessing you probably felt more drawn to one of those. I know which one I am drawn to, and that is the simple capsule wardrobe. But to get to that capsule wardrobe, you have to first subtract or remove all of the things that aren't working. You have to create space for the new things to come in. You don't want to just shove your new pieces of clothing in there because it'll make it so much harder to find what you want on a daily basis. So what this means is that you have to take a closer look at each piece in your closet and decide, is this working or not? So years ago, I want to say maybe this was like 2020, like the end of 2020, my business was taking off and I was like, okay, I need a new look. And I hired a stylist, which was super fun, except for the part where she made me try on every single piece of clothing that I owned on Zoom. And so she could like look at it because we weren't in the same place. And then she would tell me if I could keep it or not. And I kid you not, most of my clothes, she was not letting me keep. I didn't realize how unflattering the clothes I had been wearing were. It was a very humbling experience. But it was so valuable because we spent a couple weeks clearing out everything that just was no longer working. And at the end of it, I only had a few things left. And this meant there was space to bring in the new. Now, what often happens when you evaluate your wardrobe or maybe your business, you may get stuck in sunk cost bias. This means your brain says, well, I spent a lot of money on that. Well, I put a lot of time into that business strategy, but it hasn't worked yet, so maybe I should just keep doing it. And you're like, well, it's like 2 years later and it hasn't worked yet. Do I want to keep doing it? So the sunk cost bias means that you're more likely to view something that you've already invested in as more valuable than it actually is. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just pull the plug on it, let it go, donate it, discard it, say no. And you will feel so much freedom in this, because then it's time to add in the new, the things that you love that feel good to you. And scaling your business can be exactly like this as well. If you've been in business for a while, your business may be really bloated on the back end. Like nobody can see it, but you see it. You see all of the tech stuff zigzagging here, there, and everywhere. And it may just be time to clean up your funnel, to audit your tech stack, and get back to a business strategy that actually lights you up and is really fun to run, right? I know sometimes we get into these seasons of where like business just isn't fun anymore. And I promise you, it can be again. It can be light and playful and creative. And I want that for you if you've been feeling just burnt out by your business. But it's going to take you cleaning out your business. That's step number 1. Then you need to reflect on your vision and your values for your business and your family. What is it you actually want if you're being honest with yourself? And where is it that you're heading in the future? A year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where do you want to be? When you think of scaling your business, what does that mean to you? The word scaling means different things to different people. So one woman may dream of having $1 million a year business with a team and with, conferences and all of these different layers. And then another may just want a full client load that, covers all of the family bills. Both of these are worthy scaling goals, and it's because they reflect the heart of the woman. So we don't want to go after a goal that we just think we should want. You get to have the goal you actually want. There's no shame in it. It doesn't matter the size of your goal or your vision. What matters is that it is meaningful to you. That is what is worth scaling a business for. So it's so important not to look to people online and what they are doing to decide your business goals, but instead look inside your own heart. What matters to you? Like, what is your life about? What do you want your business to represent? And then you start intentionally adding back in a handful of business actions that support that vision. Think of it like your capsule wardrobe. Make sure that these actions, these, steps and technologies that you put in place support one another. They all go together. That you aren't trying to do too much and that your business still fits around family life because your family comes first. Above all, less is always more. And as time goes on, you want to regularly declutter your business, letting go of strategies and tools and technologies that are no longer working. And this just happens. This is part of running a business. What worked 2 years ago is not what's working today. And I know I've had to shift things over the years to stay up to date with how things are going in the online business world. It's just part of the process. Above all, you need to trust yourself. Because when you do, and you see yourself as the CEO of your business, you see yourself as someone who is smart and knows what she is doing, this will make you more confident. It'll help you step into truly being the CEO and seeing how valuable your own wisdom is when it comes to making business decisions. So, as you scale your business, take heart. You get to have the business that you want. You get to have a simple business with white space that feels like a breath of fresh air. This is available to you. And if you are ready to scale your simple family first business, join me in the next round of the Family Fueled CEO Mastermind. Gosh, I'm so excited for this next group coming in. And if you're listening to this episode on the day that it comes out, then get excited too, because applications open on October 6th. We are almost there. Okay, Mom CEOs, that is it for today's episode. I hope that you loved it and it spoke to you. Be unapologetic in choosing a minimalist business model that serves your family well, because this is just how us moms do it. Thank you again for listening, and I will see you next week.